Back with Jowan Smith, 1,000 Ties, Top TV. It's your main man, Hollywood Chuck. And y'all probably wondering why I got this tilted crown on my head. And I won Classic Man of the Year 2024 King. Shout out to Be Elite Pageant. Shout out to Mitch and Davita Hawkins for, putting together a prestigious event and honoring me and so many other people out here. And the Classic Man title is basically leadership, community, things like that, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, some of the things that go under the title of being a Classic Man. So, like I said, I'm honored to be nominated as the Classic Man of the Year 2024, and thank y'all. But we got somebody that's been honoring a lot of young men here today with us, and that's Miss Jowan Smith.
Thank you.
Again, we got her. She all over the news. She coming on my podcast, and I appreciate her always gracing my podcast. But she's all over the news. She's doing a real big. Tons of people are bringing their sons out, and we're gonna get into the ladies real soon too. But tons of people bring their sons out, mentorships, learning how to tie a tie. I got my bow tie on the day. It was a special day, so I wore my bow tie for Jowan. And but today we're talking about Accelerated.
Yes.
Citizens Bank. Mm-hmm. And you won that.
I won it twice.
You won it. Excuse me. She won it twice.
So I'm the only person to ever be a finalist and then come back and also win the whole competition. Mm-hmm. So it's ran through the Cleveland Leadership Center.
You was like a back-to-back champion, like.
So in my first year in 2017, I won my category, and to me that was like massive because I didn't expect to win anything going into this competition. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, to be candid, I just didn't think it was for us.
Right.
So winning then and then coming back in 2020, when I say the level of anxiety that I had because I felt like the expectations were so high because I was a finalist in 2017, and I was at that point everything was happening. Like I was on TV, I'm getting flown here and there, and so the pressure was so heavy.
How did you handle that pressure?
I really,
as being a finalist, and like I want this money to be able to elevate my business and bring any type of resources that it can bring. So how did you handle that pressure?
It was a lot. I would say having my son there to kind of keep me leveled out, and then my good friend Eric Gordon, he always is somewhere close by, and he just kept popping up and coming up to me like, Joe, you got this, and I would go find me a corner to sit in, and he would come back over like, you got this. So I had a lot of support from people that believe in the work. Mm-hmm. So they just got behind you. Pretty much.
They just got behind 1,000 Ties because you got 1,000 Ties, but then you got Getting Our Babies to College 101. Getting Our Babies to College 101. So you got two things that you're doing. You're mentoring the young man, but then you're overall making sure that our kids get a good education and mentorship in general.
Yeah. So Getting Our Babies to College 101 was the first idea I pitched in 2017. Mm-hmm. And the goal of that is to empower our families, because a lot of people get in situations like I was where my daughter wasn't the highest performer academically, and so the schools weren't throwing resources at me. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, my daughter wanted to go to college. Yeah. And so as a parent, once your child tells you, I want to do this, your main goal is to make it happen. And so that's how I got started with Getting Our Babies to College 101, and I pitched in 2017, and Eric was one of my judges. And I want to say, like, within the next week or so, he had his staff find me. Yeah. And so we had a meeting. They found me. And we had a meeting, and they gave me a contract. So I always tell people, my business had a body before it had legs. I kind of had to catch up because Eric's like, my parents need this. Right. What you're talking about, you're not the only parent. We want to be able to be resources to our families, so we need you right now. So I had to create a business, and I already had a contract.
So you got the actual contract before you even got the business.
I didn't even have a business.
That's how much they believed in what you said.
Yes, it wasn't. I didn't have an LLC.
It was that powerful.
Yes. The whole thought of parents wanting to see their children succeed but not having access to the resources or not knowing how to approach those. If you look at the number of families where the parents have never went to college, they don't know how to fill out a FAFSA. They don't know about going on college visits. They don't know how to get their student athletes scouted. There are things that our children and the families in the inner city, they just don't know.
They just don't got the knowledge. And so you are bringing that to these people. You know, you are able to put that on the platform and let them be able to come through and get consultation on that. Mm-hmm. Yes. You know, is it a fee associated with that consultation?
So we do it with the schools. So those schools will contract and pay. So my goal is for parents to not have to pay at all. So our goal is we always try to contract with the schools or with the city or with the county to come to different events, like the mayor's back to school event. We were always at that. They just brought that back this year.
Yeah.
So we try to partner with organizations that have funding so that the parents don't have to pay.
Right. So now it's no excuse. It's no excuse for you as a parent not to know what's going on with your kids. Because I just had a lady on here last week and she was saying that kids got to sign themselves up for high school. For high school now. It has gotten that bad, you know, where the kids are coming to the teachers or people like yourself or organizations like yourself and saying, hey, Jowan, Miss Smith, I need to sign myself up for school.
Mm-hmm. And we live in, unfortunately, the times are different. So a lot of parents have not graduated from high school. They have not went to college. They don't know how. Mm-hmm. And so now we have this next generation coming and they have no guidance.
They don't even know the language.
They don't understand. And I would say this because I was guilty of this as well, where we baby our children so much that we're kind of handicapping them in the area of understanding what's next when it comes to adulting. Mm-hmm. So we're not being transparent about things. So they're not thinking about it until here we are in 12th grade. Now what are we going to do? When
now
you should have been, you should have been talking about that in 9th grade.
Yeah.
You should have been talking about it in 8th grade. Because in 8th grade, you should be thinking, what do I want to be and what high school lines up with that?
And so we can say that Trey, your son, who was the co-founder of 1,000 Ties, is a model citizen for something like that.
Definitely.
If you want to really know if it's real, all you got to do is look at Trey.
Yeah.
And you will see that you know exactly what you're doing.
I'm trying.
You know what I'm saying? No, all you got to do is see it. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is look. Go to Chef Trey. Is it Chef Trey?
Chef Trey, and then he got Chess with Big Trey. That's the thing.
All you got to do is go to his pages and see that Jowan is doing an amazing job with her son. You know, and you want to model your sons or your daughters behind that pattern. Not exactly, but that avenue is an avenue that's showing, you know, success.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the big things, because I've had other moms with sons, and they ask or they notice how our relationship is, and I always tell people it's big on the communication. Like, how do we communicate? How do we interact? How am I allowing Trey to find himself? Because as parents, we innocently are putting our hopes and wishes and visions and dreams on our children.
Well, they're the second coming.
Yeah, but we're not allowing them to figure out what it is they want to be or what they want to do. We're pushing in one direction, and they're like, I really don't want to do that. And then when they say that, we're like, but why? Instead of just sitting down and having a conversation that this is something they might be passionate about. Maybe they were, especially for boys. Boys don't want to upset their mom.
Yeah.
So they're not going to say, Mom really wants me to be a doctor, but I really hate blood. Mm-hmm. But they scared to tell their mama because they don't want to disappoint their mama.
Man, because that's my whole thing, you know. My only thing in the world is to impress my mother. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's one of the main things that's real near and dear to me. You know what I'm saying? To be able to make her proud.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, a lot of guys don't want to let their parents down, but at the same time, if a young man got a talent and he good at something, you need to invest in that talent. Yes. You know what I'm saying? If he not good over here, but you trying to beat him into whatever he trying to do, and he's not good at that, but he's excelling in this area. Maybe he's a great public speaker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he not good at math. So you need to get him in some Toastmasters.
Right. And people sometimes feel like when you say listening or you listen or communicate with your child, it equals to you trying to be their friend.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
No.
It's not the same thing. You have to be able, your child needs to feel comfortable having dialogue.
We got Jowan Smith, 1,000 Ties, Getting Our Babies to College 101, and she's here to talk about the accelerated program that Citizen Bank has. And is this just a strictly a Citizen Bank thing, or is they partnering with somebody?
So it's Cleveland Leadership Center's competition, and Citizens is the sponsor. They're like the main financial sponsor. The prize money comes from them. So they are, the support of it. But it's Cleveland Leadership Center, and a lot of people are familiar with them from all of their leadership and management training programs, like Bridge Builder and things like that. But this program is specifically for regular, everyday people.
Anybody with a business.
Anybody with the idea, a project, a program.
So you don't even have to have an article organization to get in this business.
Not
to
at
get
all.
in this program.
Every time I pitched, they were ideas.